That was a wild game. What's up? Cool combo. Like, actually fun. Yeah, I'm doing it. It's okay. I'm making it. Sorry,
I'd also like one, sir.
2 years, so thank you. Thanks for handing it. How many yards? I'll be 92.
Thanks, dog.
Yeah, appreciate you. Officially have no and it's not even that shit.
We have one back there.
This is the first time they've done this.
Todd, where would you prefer this?
Just put them back and over back there.
Reminded me how I used to water so bad.
My dad always told me to text me.
That pile over there, that's like my pile of drinks.
I feel like we had this. He didn't do an actual 6.5, but he had the right idea. When Jesse was famously chased it.
Are you sure you didn't go?
No.
It's a celebration.
Oh, you only got one? Really?
The best?
They got 200 exactly. And it was 200 because you're sitting on like 4 out of 5. We had 5 moves. What was the final score? Every time I see it, no. Like you
All right. That was a fun one tonight. Our crowd, again, was unbelievable. Great atmosphere there. Really proud that we were able to go do that in that environment with our seniors. There's some moments when you're sitting in that game and you're frustrated because you know that we're not performing to the best of our abilities. So a great challenge. You know, their team is obviously very explosive on offense. You know, ultimately, I think a lot of it comes down to the physicality that we talked about. For us to be able to go out and rush for almost 180 yards and hold them to 52 rushing yards gives an indication of what, you know, how do you win this game? What's it look like? Special teams were special tonight. Obviously, a huge punt return there from Malik. Disappointed in general, just our lack of composure at times. Thought, you know, obviously we were penalized in this game. We gave up 130 yards of penalties. Some of them made sense. Some of them maybe didn't. But ultimately, there's certainly some ones that we can go clean up and attack. And we got to be better on third down. You know, defensively, they had some moments there, but I thought defense showed up big. You know, there at the end of the game to get a stop. I thought they were big there at the beginning. You know, into half for us to be able to control the middle late and get the ball back. You know, we didn't do enough coming out at halftime, but we won the fourth quarter. And that's an area we wanted to be able to go attack. But overall, I'm really proud of our guys. Proud to go beat a good team. Right, these guys that's a good team that we just played, and ultimately looking for the opportunity for us to grow from this moment.
Starting right here on left with James.
Dan, when you talk all season about strength in numbers, when you embody it the way you do today with the fourth and fifth tackle being out there at one point, also being down to just 3 scholarship receivers at one point, and on a drive to put the game away to turn to 6 different guys over 11 plays, many of whom were not starters to start this season. To have the win of the season under those circumstances, how do you embody what you've been talking about all year?
Yeah, you said it. I mean, all those moments showed up, and guys, I always talk about being ready for your opportunity, not waiting for your opportunity. There's some guys that were ready for their opportunity when their number was called, and there's some stuff that we can clean up, but we got a bunch of guys that want to go out there and battle for the man next to them, and they take a lot of pride in what they do, and to be able to take 6 minutes off the clock there on that last drive when they got a loaded box every down and the numbers for them are right, but we're still able to outpush and finish physically. That's what really matters, and you got a bunch of guys on this team that have unbelievable heart. Noah Whittington showed up the last 4 weeks in a big way for us. The way he's run the ball, the way he works. You got Bryce Betcher. You got a bunch of seniors that give it their all. Charlie Pickard, whose number hadn't been called all year, and he comes in on senior night. I know that's got to be a special moment for him, and there's some moments to clean up for sure, but what an awesome way for him to get to enjoy senior night.
Aaron.
Continuing with Bryce, when did the Bryce Betcher touchdown play preparation start? And to see him have a performance like he did tonight in his last game at Austin Stadium, knowing he's been coming here since he was a little kid, just how great was to see that.
Yeah, he's been asking for the ball a year, so but we really put that in this week. Something we worked multiple times this week. Worked it again yesterday. Worked it Thursday practice, Wednesday practice. Something we felt like that we might be able to carry. And there's some other defensive guys out there as well with Amari and Bear. But excited to see what it looks like on film. I don't know if anybody could have kept Bryce from getting in that end zone whenever we gave him that opportunity.
Right here on the left, John.
Lots of shuffling all day on the offensive line as you had to deal with injuries. Just what did you think of the way you guys were able to handle that and keeping Dante clean throughout the day and be able to do what you did on the ground as well?
Yeah, I have to go back and watch the film, but I mean, you said it. We were able to keep our quarterback clean. I thought he did a good job of decision making. I know he had the one turnover, but ultimately, when you have a lot of changing parts, that's tough, especially with a unit that has to play together in a cohesive unit. And those guys went out there and did that. There were some pre-snap penalties that we have to clean up. A couple errors that we definitely have to get better at, and work on getting our guys healthy to see what we can look like moving forward.
In the middle, Eric.
Significance of Malik's punt return touchdown and also what was working there. And obviously mentioned, I think, last week, just him stepping into that role after being like the third guy. Kind of what does it say about him and his contributions?
Another great example of a guy being ready for his opportunity. And you saw his speed. We've seen his speed all season, especially when he's able to go field that punt. We did feel like we were going to have some aggressive opportunities for us on punt return there. He was going to have a chance. I thought he did a great job of fielding the ball and getting into high gear and getting vertical quick. I'm sure we're going to turn on the film and see some great blocks on that as well. But it was an awesome play, huge momentum swing in the game for sure, and great opportunity for them to feel like now they have to chase some points, right, rather than us be battling back and forth.
Front right, Zach.
You mentioned being frustrated with the inability to keep your composure sometimes, the players on the field.
Yeah.
When you're in a rivalry game like this and you want players playing with fire and passion, how do you kind of balance that with you want them to feel that but also keep their heads about them?
Yeah, for me all week we've talked about not worrying about that because the fire and passion is going to come on its own. We've talked all week about execution, not emotion, and it's unfortunate that showed up, but I hope that can be a learning lesson, to this group, and we can take that and grow from it. You're going to play this game and you're going to play with juice, especially if you play here. These guys care about each other. They love it, right? But we got to be able to reset and get to the next play. We didn't do that enough today. We did that in the second half much better.
In the middle, Aaron.
Coach, granted they put up some passing numbers, but how important was it for you guys to make them sort of one-dimensional by stopping the run and maybe putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, which led to some mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge when you can take away a team's strength. I think they've been able to run the ball really well this season, and for us to be able to stop it was big. But, obviously we want to go back and clean up some of the passing attack that they had. Their quarterback special. They have some wideouts that made some big-time plays today, contested catches. It was a physical game from that standpoint. They were certainly going to attack the ball. Our guys were trying to battle and fight and keep them from getting the ball, and we can go improve that and get better in that area, and then just go evaluate it. But proud that we can, like I said, coming in here rushing for 180 yards and then rushing for 52, I think tells a big story.
In the middle, Matt.
We've always talked about guys being ready for their moment. What did you see this week, probably last few weeks with Fox, so that he would get ready, get himself ready to go? And he only played 33 snaps before today, and you didn't show it.
Yeah, no, I mean, he prepared really well this week. Our coaches have a lot of confidence in him. And, again, a guy being ready for that means he did a lot of work until he got that opportunity too, right? That doesn't just happen on accident. That's a guy that's working his tail off. World rolled his ankle in the very first play of last game, right, and played the entire game. That tells you a little bit about his toughness, but it was, severe enough that we felt like he was pretty limited today coming in and felt like he could go at moments. But Fox was ready, and certainly have to watch the film and evaluate it, but thought he did some really good things today.
Right on the right, Bree.
Hi, Dan. You've had a few senior days now at Oregon, and every class is, of course, so unique, and this class is no different. What are some of the emotions that you felt, trying to track down Noah Whittington today or some of the other guys?
Yeah, it's just special. Again, this will be a day, I think all of us, as we play, we remember our last time getting to play, and especially at the stadium. And now I told our guys, you probably just added another opportunity if we continue to do our job that you get to play here again. And ultimately, just for those guys to have that moment, to be able to enjoy that moment, we all wanted to put it on the line for the seniors today, and the guys did that.
In the middle, Tyson.
I know you were saying that he was asking for the ball all season and that senior night, his last game here. But is there actually something that Bryce does with the ball that you saw where you're just like, this is the effective play to have him in here in what was still a close game at the time?
No, not really. I love Bryce, but I like our backs too. We got some pretty good backs back there. But I love Bryce, and I'll tell you this, he's going to remind me that he's probably 100% every time he carries the ball getting a touchdown. So you might see it again. Unbelievable job by him. Great job by our offensive staff coming up with some creativity that we knew that they hadn't prepared for. So really good execution.
Right next to Malik.
Yeah, a lot of momentum swings in this game, back and forth, big momentum plays by both teams. How did you feel your team responded to USC's big momentum plays, whether it came via penalty or touchdown or big play?
There's moments I thought we responded really well, and there's moments we could certainly get better. What I loved was the temperament of our team, right? Regardless, we knew they were going to have to throw some punches, right? That's an explosive offense. They hit some big plays on us. I was really pleased with the guys being able to hit the reset button and saying, let's go again. Obviously the back-to-back, pass interference calls, those are frustrating. There's some moments that we definitely want to have back, but ultimately nobody ever had a long face. When those moments happened, they were ready for the next play and realizing they could make an impact.
Right behind him, Bill.
Hey, Dan, away from the game, this morning it came up again, your long-term commitment to Oregon. A two-part question here. Do you ever get tired of having to kind of say the same thing about that, or do you view it as an opportunity to talk about how much you love it here? And then two, when you look around the college football landscape, do you ever wonder why more people can't appreciate where they are?
Start with one. I don't mind the question, but I guess ultimately people realize at this point that I'm not interested in being anywhere else. Like I've said for a long time, as long as I win, I get the opportunity to be here. That's on me, right? So this is where I'll be as long as I do that. What I can speak to is that my situation's so good that I feel really comfortable saying that, right? I love this place, and more than that, I love the commitment that they've given to me, right? Somebody gave me this opportunity. Not everybody gets that. I can't speak for anybody else's situation, when it comes to that. So it probably tells you how special Oregon is, right? And certainly how special I feel getting to be here and getting to coach here. What a privilege that is for me. That's something I'll never take for granted, and want to be able to see it through.
Back left, the honor.
Yeah, Coach, you guys won the turnover margin against an explosive USC offense. In those moments, how vital were those plays from a momentum standpoint for you guys, for your defense to come up big on those plays?
Yeah, we thought takeaways would be a big piece of this game. It's common denominator in some of the losses that they've had so far this season. We wanted to be able to protect the ball. Obviously, we turned it over once as well. But I thought our ball security was really good today. Those guys do as good a job as anybody of attacking the ball when it comes to their defense. But our runners ran well with the ball today, and then I thought our defense certainly attacked it. You could go argue that on the fourth down it would have been better to knock it down and save us a couple yards, right, rather than take away. But some big plays today for sure.
Last one, middle.
This is just another type of game you've won. When there's a variety of wins in a season like this, like a game at Iowa and today when you handle explosive passing attack, just what's the benefit of those variety of wins when you're looking at the rest of the season?
Yeah, just an example that we can beat you in multiple ways, right? We can outscore you at times, right? We can hold you to 18-16 type game. We can win in tough environments, any weather. Put the ball down, let's go play football. That's the kind of team that we have. But I'm excited to see the growth that we can walk away from and say, okay, how can we do this better? And there's definitely going to be some moments like that coming out of this game. We're going to see some elite passing attacks throughout the season. That's something where we can improve. But ultimately, proud overall of this team's performance today.
Over here on the right.
And I know you're focused on week to week, game to game, but as the playoff gets closer and as the chatter around the field ramps up, how would you hope that the committee or the rest of the country sees and views this Oregon team?
Well, we just played a really good team. We beat them. And a lot of times we play really good teams that become unranked all of a sudden. That's not our fault, right? Maybe it is our fault. But all we're worried about is playing the teams that we play and doing the job that we need to do. And we did that job today, right? I think proof's in the pudding, right? Played a good team. We beat them, right? All we can do next week is try to do the same thing, right? And this conference is a really good conference. It's competitive, right? We didn't play Chattanooga State today, right? Like some other places, right? We competed. So, that being said, it's tough playing 9 conference games. It's tough playing in this league, and we got to take advantage of playing a good team today and attacking that.
James, right here. And then Aaron, last one.
In the bigger picture, Dan, because it was an all-season long thing, we talk about strength in numbers, and you literally had a T-shirt ready for it before the year. When was that evident to you? Like, I don't think you bought that T-shirt a week before. So when did that come through to you that you knew with the youngest team, with the least experienced team you've had, that's got 38 freshmen, redshirt freshmen, true freshmen, that this was going to be a team that you could roll out 70, 80 guys at the beginning of the year, and you could roll out 50, 60 guys as opposed to 40 and 45 like you did a year ago?
Yeah, it probably started early in the season. We're playing some of those games, and we're playing 70 guys in a game. We're playing 80 guys in a game, and you're realizing, again, if you're good enough, you're old enough. If you can play winning football, you deserve an opportunity to be on the field, and those moments are starting to pay off for us. You never know when it's going to play out. We've been really fortunate when it comes to the injury bug here, and this year it's been a little bit different. We've dealt with a couple of those things, but ultimately guys have shown that they're ready. And when you're ready for your opportunity, that's a special moment.
Last question in the middle, Aaron. Right here.
Coach, it was mentioned, you were down some receivers today, but you have a tight end who's basically a wide receiver trapped in the tight end
Special,
spot.
isn't he? Yeah.
Can you talk about his performance? And do you hold your breath at all when he starts hurdling people?
No, I just say I wish I could do that. Kenyon's special, man. I always have a good feeling whenever I'm able to touch base with him before pregame, and he just kind of gave me that look like I'm ready to roll today, which is awesome. And our other tight ends played well today too. I mean, Jamari had some big plays. But Kenyon's a special player, man. I think we're lucky to have the best tight end in the nation. His play has shown that. We're better when he's out there with us, and certainly, he's a tough guy to defend, right? Whether it's him lining up at wideout or if he's blocking in the C area, he does this at a really high level.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Whoa.
That's what you've been doing this whole year. That's a speed rush off the edge. He comes in one play game, speed rush off the edge. Oh my God.